Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for watching. I would like to thank all y'all for watching, commenting, subscribing. The channel's growing. I really appreciate it. So today we're going to be taking this this big block that we just put together. We've got a couple videos on it. Go watch them and see what I did with this engine. Okay, so we're going to take this engine, we're going to put in this car. This is a 6.2 Chevy Nova. Let me give you a quick walk around of it and kind of tell you what's going on. Ready? So here's a little Nova I've been talking about for a little while, last couple videos. This is a 62 Chevy 2 Nova. It was a 4-door, and you can see somebody they either welded it up. I'm not really sure if they welded it up or not, but they bondoed it up for sure. And there's no hinges or anything. It's just straight door panels in the back, or just straight paneling in the back. So I imagine they welded it up. Now this has been a race car for a while. It's kind of got the gasser theme. It's got a straight front axle. I'm not sure the complete history. The person I got it from had only had the car for maybe a year or so. I think it was two guys went together and got it, and they were going to build a car, go do some vintage racing, and they had differences about what the car should be, and so one bought the other one out, and I did some trading, got the car. So it's a 4-linked, back haft. It's got a 10-point cage in it. Well, I guess it's only 8 points right now. However, it's got a 10-point cage. Kind of an old school build. Whenever I got the car, it had a really narrow 9-inch, strange 9-inch, really nice rear end. I actually sold the rear end for more than what I have invested in the car. So I had this axle that I pulled out of the 55. I've put it in there just so I could get it rolling around. All the links on it are they're galled up. You can't adjust them, so they're trash. I have a set of ladder bars, and I built that 9-inch. If you watch the video on that, we're gonna put in this car. Hopefully it'll be a little bit narrower. I doubt it. Might have to go with a little different offset on the rear wheels if I can find them. It's got a fiberglass lid, Lexan windows. I have some other windows for it. Windshield, front windshield and back windshield. We'll get all these taken out eventually. It has like a custom, I don't know if to call it custom frame. It's custom because it's not factory, because this was originally unibody. Somebody put a whole frame underneath it. However, they built the frame out of 2x2 square tubing. I'm not really a big fan of that. I'm not happy with the way they set the front axle up. It's leaned back. It's almost as if they straight axled it, and then it eventually progressed into a backed half car that was narrowed, and it's kind of got a lot of different genres going on. I mean, you can tell it's been a race car for a long time, and a lot of things are definitely well thought out, and then some things I really just don't know about. So anyways, I'm going to address all those issues, and we'll get them figured up. And now this is going to be there'll be several videos into getting this thing race ready. But for today, when I got it, it came with 283 and a power glide. I picked up a turbo 350, swapped it in with the small block, did a head swap, big cam. I was trying to get that 283 to hit 7,000 or 8,000 RPMs, and it just wouldn't do it. So I pulled it, I traded it for another big block, and so it has small block motor mounts in it. So we're going to cut these out. We're going to weld in some, I'll show you how I do it here in a little bit. You just have to wait and see. What I'll do is I'll take a piece of tubing like this, and I'll bring it up and then put a bolt on top for the style of motor mounts I run. And then probably next video is going to be, once we have the engine in there and the weight settled on it, we're going to have to rebuild these bars. I cut them out because they didn't fit the headers for the small block. So we'll have to rebuild these bars, and then I'm going to put a bar from here down to the frame to stiffen the front end of this frame up, because I don't know. You can see at one point in time they had a big engine in here because I cut a hole in the hood, and it almost looks like it's for like a Endler style bird catcher hat with a blower on it. So at one point in time this thing made a lot of power. It had to, the way they have the rear end set up. However, this car is super light. I don't know what it weighs. but it ain't much because I can push it around pretty easy. Like I said, all the inside's aluminum. So we'll redo that. Then what I'm going to do, I'm not happy with the angle on this axle, the way it's set back, and I'm not happy with how high the car sits. So I want to lower the car down. So I'm going to take these perches. I got another set of perches. I'm going to cut these off, flip the axle, put the axle on top of the springs, put some more springs back in it, and then we're going to lower the rear whenever we put the ladder bars in. Hopefully, I would like the rear tires to be cut out to about this body line right here. I think that looks really good. I think the car set's good at that point. There's a bunch of stuff going on underneath the car. We'll address that later. Well, I'll show you real quick. If you look, see all that stuff hanging down? We're going to get rid of all that, okay, whenever we put the ladder bars in. I'll show you a quick shot of the inside. Pretty cool car. Like I said, it's full race mode. I got a quick detach for the steering wheel. I like how they left the factory steering column in there. I'm not a big fan of them not having the factory dash. I'm not a big fan of this giant transmission tunnel and drive shaft tunnel. That's all unnecessary. It takes away a lot of room from the car. I'll probably take these seats and put them in the 55, and then take the seats that are in the 55 and put in here. Just because I want the 55 to be more of a street car. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of room in the back seat for a back seat. Yeah, so like I said, I've been gathering parts for it. I'm not happy with the way the brakes are set up. That is funky to me. So I got another brake pedal. It's kind of funky too, so I'm not really sure if I'm going to use it. However, the brakes do still work on it. The car did run and drive when I pulled the 2A3 out. It just was not fast at all. I'm not really sure what the gear is. I want to say it's a 410 gear in here. I think it's a posi too, out of 57 Chevy. I'm not happy with the way these bars are welded together right here. It's terrible. So overall, you know, it's kind of like somebody did a pretty good job building it, and then somebody else came in and kind of hacked it up, and then probably another person came in and hacked it up too. And so anyways, pretty cool car. I do like it. It is light. Now what I'm trying to set this thing up for is some 7.0 index racing and some nostalgia racing. A lot of nostalgia racing around here is bracket, or yeah, it's on a bracket. So I want to set this up to run like a 7.0, hopefully on motor, and then put a little 150 shot on it, just in case. You never want to go bracket racing or index racing without a small shot of nitrous. It kind of helps out. So I could go to an index race almost every weekend around our area. We have about 5 or 6 drag strips that are within 2 hours of me, and I really want to set it up for that without any electronics. I don't want to run a delay box or anything like that. I want it to be old school. I mean, I guess the nitrous isn't really too old school, but I want it to be no electronics. Because we do have no electronic classes. Now, I don't know what the situation is going to be with the firewall, because somebody definitely cut that out. Some races may let me in, some not. We'll just have to see when we get there. So let's get started. We're going to start by cutting out those motor mounts and getting the engine put in and bolted up, and seeing what we need to do for the new mounts. so we have both motor mounts tacked into place. I'll show you. They're both tacked into place. Now there's nothing bolting these things down yet. However, I'm fixing to take the weight off the engine, take the lift off, and I want to see how much it lowers the front. So I'm going to use a fixed point right here on the cowl. You can't see it, but it's 15 inches. And I guess let's see. Alright, so we're going to lower it down and let's see how big of a difference it is, or see what happens to these front springs. Well, I will say it compressed them. Man, those springs are in bad shape. They're pretty much level right now. Got something in my foot. They're flat or reversed. So let's see. God, that's terrible. We're down to a little under 13 inches. So it compressed them 2 inches. All right, next we're gonna put these headers on. I went and got the headers. Now these came off of a chassis car, so this front tube is in the way of the this front tube right here. It's in the way, so I'm probably going to cut it somewhere right in here and then right in here. And none of this is welded. These are all like slip fit headers. So I'll turn that a little bit and get it away from our motor mount. Both sides it's hitting our motor mount. I guess it probably had an engine plate on here or on the car. That'll be the next thing we do. Alright, so we got the headers put on. I had to cut this front tube away from the flange. Like I said, they're all slip fit, so they will it'll all adjust. I might just have to make 2 welds on that side. This side is a little different. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. This is hitting our motor mount. Now, it actually hits the motor mount plate. So I imagine this came off of a chassis car and they had a motor plate in front, and so that wasn't a big issue for them. However, it is really close to spark plug wires and such. So what I think I'm going to do on this one is I will cut it here in this long straight piece, and that will suck this back a little bit. We'll shorten here, and that'll bring this back to where it needs to be over here. And then I will have to go get a piece of tube. So I have to make 3 welds on this side. One here, and then one here to weld it back together. There is a little bit of a clearance issue down here at the bottom. I do like where they come out, but there's just a little tab here. I think I'll have to just cut that side off. The other side I had to do a little hammering on to get it to fit and cut the tab. You can see it's a little further up in there than what I like. However, it's alright. Yeah, I'll cut the other side and then maybe go get some tubing and get it all welded up. Alright, so we got the headers welded back together. It's not real pretty. I got this one finished also. I already got it fitted on the car. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one back off. And then my next step is going to be to weld these. What I'm going to do is I got some half-inch flange nuts. I'm going to weld them to these washers right here. And then I will, once that's welded on, I will take it and set it down in the tube like this, and then weld this to the tube, and then I'll put a bolt through my my motor mount. That's how we'll bolt our motor mounts up. Works pretty good. Alright, so we got the motor mounts welded in. We got it all bolted down. Eventually I'll come in and put some braces off here. I'm not going to do it right now. That'll be a whole nother video whenever I go to put these bars back in there too. And I may, tie it all together. I'm not sure yet. So, but that's good for now. We'll go ahead and put the headers on it, the carburetor, radiator, pulleys, and wire it up. And then I need to change the transmission fluid and the transmission mount rotted out on me. So I need to replace all that. Hooked up, got the starter hooked up. We don't have an alternator or belt on. I'm waiting for a crankcase, or not a crankcase, a crank pulley spacer. I got this little water pump hooked up. You can see it's running off the fan motor wiring. Everything's hooked up. Torque converter, transmission mounts replaced. So let's fire it up and see if we can make tires move. Alright guys, thanks for watching. That's going to be it for this video. Next video we're going to put the bars from the firewall down to the front of the frame to help stiffen it up. I didn't want to do a whole lot of driving around with it like that. It's just, I think it's a little flimsy. It needs some support. Next video we'll do that. We'll address the front suspension and then we'll go ahead and put all the alternator and all that on it. Thanks for watching. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you back next time. Thanks.